with the kick in here. We might remind you that our next televised game will be at Kansas City's Kemper Arena. Joe, that should be a mighty clash between those two teams fighting for second and even first place in the West.
Certainly. We've had some great meetings between the two teams this year, and I'm sure we can expect another one when we televise that game.
That'll be a great one, and Wichita needs to win by 2 over Kansas City to win the season series against the Comets. So that'll be an interesting one. Well, the Wings have got a great one going here against Pittsburgh. Wichita leads 2-1 here in the second quarter. Mavlik again plays it up, headed up, trying to kept in by Dumbovic and Hagen, but it goes up over the plexiglass, and it'll be a goal kick for Mike Dollar. Well, you know, last year the MVP for the Wichita Wings was Omar Gomez. And Joe, we haven't talked about this yet this year, who the MVP of the Wings should be this year. But if I had to vote today, I think I'd vote for Mike Dollar.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, Dave. He's just been so consistent throughout the season, just done an excellent job.
Andy Chapman goes down at midfield. Not to belabor the point, but I don't think we give Mike Dollar enough credit. We just take him for granted so many times, but he has done such an outstanding job for Wichita this year. Frank tries to keep it in, but kicked away by Pittsburgh. Greg Willen tracking there on Vosmar. Goes all the way back to Kim Rundfed. Kim will just leave it for Mike Dollar. Now here come the Wings on a run again. Jurgen Christensen. Nice move there to get around Dave Hagen. Amazing to me, Joe, the entire sense that these guys have of where they are on the field and where everybody else is as well. And they know when to stop the ball to let a player go by.
Oh, that's just great vision on their part, Dave. Every great soccer player has it, and this is what you need to play this indoor game as well as the outdoor.
Here comes Drago Dumbovic. He plays it into the corner to Hagen. Those two teamed on the first goal for Pittsburgh. First goal of the contest. Wichita's come back to tie at 6. Dollar with the save on a low shot by Hagen. Now Dollar looking for the outlet. Can't find anybody, so just dishes off to Jurgen Christensen. Let's take a look at the old watch here. Looks like there's under 5 minutes to go here in the first half. Well, JB, as I say that, says 5 minutes to go. So 5 minutes to go here in the first half with Wichita leading by 1. Call made there against Vosmar, so Wichita will get it back right at their own red line. There's Bob Vosmar, who played last year with Chicago, has also played with the Montreal Manique before they folded, and he has a degree from the University of Holland.
Very experienced players, played on the Dutch national team, and a very good player.
Omar Gomez. Gomez has it stripped away by the guy we were just talking about, Vosmar, and now Gomez goes down hard. We'll have a whistle and a foul called against Kevin Mayer, but not a 2-minute variety.
Well, he was kicked twice there, Dave, once before that and then the second time.
There he goes again. Look at Kevin Mayer, who Pittsburgh is touting as the Rookie of the Year in the MISL with his 36 block shots and 6 goals as a defender. Omar Gomez will play it in. He goes off to Ian Anderson. Played through the crease, blocked out by Pittsburgh. Anderson tries to keep it in, but can't. Here comes Pittsburgh on a run, but again blocked away, and now here's Bourne with it in the corner. Borney, he settles it now. Now goes the other way. McKenzie got back, and we'll have a whistle and a holding call against Dave McKenzie. Well, Borney, as soon as he made the turn, he looked back at Toros Gabrichin, and Toros said, yeah, I agree with you. And McKenzie called for the foul. 4:18 left to go here in the first half. Omar Gomez to Pear. Looked like a carbon copy of the first goal, but that time it was blocked on defense. Pear with it his own red line. He's got to be careful. Dumbovic was right on him, and now Ian Anderson goes all the way back to Mike Dollar. Wings trying to create a few more spaces, Joe, before they go forward.
4 minutes remaining.
Yeah, they like to draw the other team out to allow them to get the space behind the defenders to play the ball into and use the speed of Omar Gomez and Jeff Braun.
Per Rundfed crashes into Dave Hagen there along the boards. Per Rundfed whistled for the foul. Pittsburgh will get it back. We're under 4 minutes now left to go here in the first half. Again, Per Rundfed and Hagen collide. Again, Per whistled for the foul. Norman Piper with a nice defensive play. And another one to Mike Dollar. Wings being careful now in their own zone. Omar Gomez Tries to play it up for Frank Rasmussen. Kicked out, though, by Luis Alberto. And now all the way back into the Pittsburgh zone. Headed back by Mavlik. He's looking for Kapka, who has Andy Chapman right on his back, and Chapman wins the battle. But not too long, though, as Chapman has it kicked away again by Alberto, who clears it up. Here comes Anderson. And boy, lucky thing he got there, because Sibbies was waiting for it. Andy Chapman now 44 goals on the year, just 4 away from his season record of 48 last year. And to think he went 9 games without scoring a goal, Joe, that's amazing.
It was after that injury, Dave. It took him a while to get back into it.
Sure did. There's a hard shot taken. Mike Dollar again with the sticky fingers in the save. Andy Chapman, ball played a little bit too far for him, though. Erhard Kapp will track it down. Chapman just couldn't catch up to that one.
2.5 minutes remaining first half.
You hear the time from J.B. Johnson. Under 2.5 now to go here in the first half. Kapka has it in the corner now. Willen shadowing him. Back to Luis Alberto. Jurgen Christensen diving all over the turf with it. Christensen ahead past Andy Chapman. Here comes Ian Anderson on his left. Chapman plays it off the board. Tried to play it to himself, but Mavlik got there instead. Well, he had Ian Anderson over on the left side. I don't know if he ever saw. Here comes Topolsky on a run to Alberto. Played off the boards. Nice play by Frank Rasmussen to kick it out of there before Kapka could get loose. Topolsky with it again. His hard shot deflected. It almost hit in. It hit the post just wide. Frank has it stripped away by Kapka from behind. Here comes Topolsky again. Now he'll settle things back at midfield. Bob Bosmar with it. Oh, some scary moments there for the Wings defensively.
1.5 minutes remaining.
Kevin Mayer goes, shoved into the boards by Ian Anderson. Here comes Christensen being held from behind by Kapka, and he wants a 2-minute penalty to Jurgen Christensen, and that might have been cause for one.
Yeah, definitely, Dave. The Wings are on a breakaway, and Jurgen just playing tremendously out there right now. His effort is incredible. Here you see Kapka is all over him. He's grabbing him. Should have been a 2-minute penalty, no doubt about it.
Christensen just couldn't shake loose. Wichita has now called timeout. So the Wings want to talk things over. Pittsburgh's already used their one timeout. There's about a minute and I'd say 10 or 15 seconds, Joe, left to go here in the first half of play. Wichita will get the restart as we take a look at John Kowalski. Well, Kowalski's done a good job with this Pittsburgh Spirit team. They are 28-13. Kowalski is, along with Mickey Cave, his assistant coach. And there's Roy Turner, who is 113-91 with the Wichita Wings. Turner, as we mentioned, turned 41 just the other day, played 9 years with the Dallas Tornado. Well, Craig Bolerjack, you're getting a real good view of what's going on down there, and you're also able to eavesdrop on what Roy Turner has to say.
Dave, I think right now Roy just called timeout to give his players a breather. You said about a minute 10 to go. They've been running up and down this field, especially here in the second half. They've really kept the pressure on. They look very good right now, but he just wanted them to take a breather and push a big push towards the end of the first half.
Again, we look at the Pittsburgh bench and John Kowalski. They're 17-4 at home are the Spear, which is an outstanding record. 11-9 on the road. Anytime you're above 500 on the road, Joe, that's something to speak of.
Yeah, they really are, David. As we said earlier, they're one of the better teams in the league. They play good soccer, and they've been a credit to the league this year because they've gone out there and with the intent of playing good soccer, and as opposed to some of the other teams that play a very physical style.
In case you just joined us, as we mentioned in the pregame, Pittsburgh has never won here in Wichita. As we take a look at some of the crowd on hand at the Kansas Coliseum, Wichita holds a 6-5 lifetime record against the Pittsburgh Spirit. Teams are even 1-1 this year. Now the crowd with some rhythmic applause trying to cheer their Wings on here in the last minute or so of the first half. Jeff Bourne trying to get around Kevin Mayer. Obstruction called against Mayer. Wichita will get the free kick. Now they'll try to set it up in a hurry. Norman Piper races after the ball, but Pittsburgh sets up defensively. Now Wichita will go ahead and take their time and set it up right.
The Wings forwards are doing very well at the moment, Dave. They're just shaking off these Pittsburgh defenders, and the only way the Pittsburgh defenders can stop them is to foul them.
Kim Runfed with a blast block, though, by Vosmar. Runfed keeps it in. Tried to play it into the corner to Norman Piper, who's battling for it. Piper still with it. Tried to get around a Pittsburgh player down there. Couldn't quite see who it was. It was a penalty called anyway against Norman Piper, the man right there, the first player the Wings ever signed. Less than a minute to go now in the first half. Kapka with it at the red line. Gomez right on Z. Kapka. Z-E-E-E. That's how you spell his first name. Gomez plays it back for Kim Runfit. Good first half for the Wichita Wings. Especially good second quarter here. Per Runfit to Bourne. It's in. What a pass by Per. Let's take another look. Per Runfit muscling it around in the corner there, and then Bourne gets up off the ground and makes the goal.
Excellent play by both Per and Jeff Bourne here. They were both worked so hard to get that ball, but great vision again by Per. He drew the goalkeeper and the defender to him, and Jeff, being the very intelligent player that he is, moved into the space and allowed himself to be open for the shot.
Jeff Bourne now with his 43rd goal of the year, and for Bourne, and for the Wings, it's a 3-1 advantage for Wichita. Well, under a minute to go here in the first half, an important goal indeed.
And a great time to get it, Dave, because just before the halftime break, they'll put their Pittsburgh heads down just a little more. Certainly will. Sibbies plays it in for Kapka. Now the Wings have to be careful defensively. Bosmar in the corner. Bosmar still with it. It's out front and it's loose. Played out front. Gomez blocked it out. And Per Runfit as well. JB counts it down now. 7 seconds left to go here. Now 6 seconds, all right, in the first half. And Wichita has control of the ball. I'm sure they just as soon just sit on it here, Joe, with that 2-goal advantage. And that's exactly what they do. They play it out. And the first half comes to an end. Wichita with a good second quarter. 3-0 for Wichita in that second quarter of play. Have taken a 3-1 lead after the first 30 minutes of action. So it's Wichita 3, Pittsburgh 1. We'll be back with all our... Well, let's first of all, before we do that, go down to the bench and talk with head coach Roy Turner and Craig Bolerchak.
Thank you, Dave. It's Wichita up by 2 goals at half. And, Coach, it was a little slow in the first, but you guys really pressured them very well in the second. You got 3 goals.
Well, it seems like that, you know, this Pittsburgh side are a fine team, and they took it to us early on, although we had a lot of opportunities. One of the keys, though, might not have been anything I said, might not have been anything the crowd did, but when they announced the St. Louis score out here, it made a big difference, and we came on, and thank goodness we're going to the locker room 2 ahead.
Coach, you always say, or you've told me lately, Super Bowl, every game is down the stretch, 8 games including today. Nothing like winning here at the Kansas Coliseum. You've got a really strong finish here at the Coliseum. You've got to take advantage of that.
Well, I think, as all the viewers will tell you out in the state of Kansas, we've got a lot of pride going on here. And these are the big boys from the big city, so to speak. And we're about to prove that the Super Bowl can take place right here in the Kansas Coliseum every time we go out there. These are games we've got to win. And, you know, we're playing against the best in the league, and what more can we say? We're doing it so far, so good.
Just one last thing quickly. No scoreboard. Has that changed your coaching style today at all?
We've got about 3 or 4 people along the bench keeping time for different things. It's amazing, though, when the players are used to being out there, for instance, for 2 minutes, how they don't need to watch anymore to tell them. The time it's going to count is when penalties come. So far, we haven't seen one. I hope we don't. If it is, let's hope it's for us.
All right, Coach. Thanks a lot. Again, the Wings leading 3-1 against Pittsburgh. Dave?
All right. And Roy mentioned that score against St. Louis. Buffalo wins 5-4. So if the Wings can hold on and win this one this afternoon, they'd pull it within a half game of the lead in the West. We'll be back with more of our halftime festivities in just a moment.
The world is knocking at our door. Lots of hard work to do, but you know we'll come through, 'cause there's something big waiting for you. Coke is the biggest taste you've ever found. Coke is the one that never lets you down. Coke is the most refreshing taste around. Coke
I was drowning.
Let's go.
Nothing could save me. My children, how would they get along without me? So much more to do.
Breathing, her pulse is back. She's going to be okay.
I got a second chance to do all those things I always meant to do.
At Prudential, we know most of us don't get a second chance. Talk to a Prudential agent and get the peace of mind that comes with a piece of the rock.
We're all right now.
Prudential Life Insurance.
my share of banks. Like the old soil bank where the government tried to pay farmers for not growing wheat. There's river bank where I take my grandkids fishing. Then there's cloud banks. I gotta watch out for when we're working. But there's only one bank for my money, the bank. Kansas State Bank and Trust Company.
Take it to the bank, KSBC, the bank that's making dreams come true.
Well, back at the Kansas Coliseum with the Wings leading Pittsburgh 3-1. With me, the Wings captain, Kevin Cooley. Gentlemen, you have not seen out on the playing field for about 2 weeks. Kevin, you got hurt against Cleveland about 12 days ago. How is the ankle coming around?
Well, it's coming along very slowly, Craig. Apparently my ligaments were damaged, and it's coming along a lot slower than I thought, but it's just one of these things, you know. I don't want to rush it, but the playoffs coming up, and the guys are playing real well, so I just have to take my time and go on to whatever the doctor says and just, you know, go out whenever I can.
Al Green, the trainer of the Wichita Wings, told me that you seem to be progressing a little bit slower than he thought, but you might be able to come back for the weekend game.
Yeah, it's kind of depressing when you're not playing, you know, and especially when, you know, you get the atmosphere like this and there's big games coming along, and you just, you know, you feel out of it no matter what anyone says or does. You know, the coach has been real good to me, the players have been great to me, trying to help me, but it's just not the same thing, and I hope I can play against Tacoma, maybe even Memphis on Tuesday, but, you know, whatever Al says, and we'll just see how it goes.
Kevin, let's talk a little bit about this ball game. You know, you look at the Pittsburgh bench and you look at the Wichita bench. Wichita used to be one of the smaller clubs in the league. Now Pittsburgh looks awfully small to me, and Wichita has taken over this ball game in the physical sense, I thought.
Yeah, I think, you know, we got a lot of criticism the last couple of years, and I think Roy made a conscious effort to go out and get a couple of guys who are a bit of weight and a bit of muscle. We got Pear, Jan van der Veen, and Anderson now, Greg Willen. You know, they're big guys who can muscle with anyone, and I don't think any team's going to physically beat us now. That's for one thing for sure, and I think, you know, we were kind of a soft touch around the league, and I think that's changed.
Well, it looks like it, definitely. Let's talk about the standings. Since St. Louis did lose today with the win here today, Wichita is only a half a game out of first in the West with 7 games to go after this. You've got the home schedule. Roy touched on it lightly, but I'd say if this is the time to take a move, this is probably it.
Yeah, we've been saying that all along, you know. I think we can put 3 or 4 wins together anytime. Anyone can come out the pack, and I think with St. Louis losing today, and we win this one, and then we've got Memphis on Tuesday, and then Tacoma. You know, 3 games we should win, so maybe we'll be on top by the end of this week. So it'll be real important. I think it's going to be real important in the playoffs to get home advantage.
I know I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, but with the playoffs just around the corner 3 weeks, have you got a preference? Who would you like to see, or who would you like to have your first round opponent be?
Phoenix, but they won't make it. I think I'm not really scared of anybody, but Kansas City would be my preference to play, or LA. I think Tacoma and St. Louis play real rough, tough style and kind of put us off our game, but I think the other 2 teams we can beat quite easily.
I'm going to get off the subject of soccer just for a second. We did have kind of a freak accident here about 12:30 with the scoreboard falling, but kind of a strange thing to sit on the bench today, and I keep looking up, but there's nothing there.
Yeah, well, it's got me a job, actually, because Roy's asked me to keep time on the guys and let them know how long's to go and whatever. And even myself, I've been looking up, you know, to see what the score is and how long to go, and it's real strange, I must admit.
Well, Kevin, I hope the ankle does come around and you're back in action Saturday night against Tacoma, and hopefully the Wings can get this game under the belt and just be a half a game out of first.
Yeah, I think it'll be a big help if we win today, especially with St. Louis losing.
All right, Kevin. Kevin Cooley of the Wichita Wings, the team captain. He's out. Hopefully he'll be back this weekend, Dave, against Tacoma with that sprained ankle. But good things right now. Wichita leads Pittsburgh by 2, 3-1.
Okay, thanks a lot, Craig. And we certainly do hope the Wings captain, Kevin Cooley, will be back in action very soon. One thing about that ligament damage, Joe, it's almost as bad as a broken ankle, isn't it?
It really is, Dave. And if, like Kevin says, if you try to come back too quickly, you just aggravate it, and you just make the whole area sore. Because my last season when I was playing, I had the same thing with my knee, and I kept trying to come back too quickly, and all you do, you just make it inflamed in the joint, and it's just very difficult to overcome that. It's just a matter of time, really, rest, and just for Kevin not to come back too quickly, I think.
Well, especially with the team playing as well as they are right now, there's really no need for him to rush back into the lineup and aggravate that injury and then perhaps have problems in the playoffs. You know, the Wings, historically, Joe, have not gone into the playoffs in very good shape. Jurgen Christensen is yet to play in the playoffs for the Wichita Wings, and it always seems the Wings limp into the playoffs, always make it to the semifinals somehow. But it'd be nice if Wichita could go into those postseason play with the full squad.
Yeah, really, as you say, Dave, some of the problems in the past have been due to injuries, and maybe one of the reasons why the Wings haven't gone further. But they've always got to the semi-final, which is quite an accomplishment in itself.
Well, they're out there exercising now. I don't want to look at this because I know I'm sorely in need of getting back to the basics and getting back to working out. So while they do that, we'll step aside here at the Kansas Coliseum. Our score at halftime, Wichita 3, Pittsburgh 1. The Wings have a 2-goal advantage, and we'll be back with more halftime festivities in just a moment.
Silver Creek moist wintergreen tobacco. It's cut a little rougher.
This Wings Great Moment is brought to you by Mid-Kansas Federal, your neighborhood financial service center.
January 26th will go down in Wings history as the day Wichita finally clobbered the dreaded Steamers. The Wings destroyed St. Louis 8-1, including 4 goals from the Jet, Jeff Bourne.
Look to the Mid-Kansas Federal Rainbow and get up to a $2,000 income tax break with an IRA account at your neighborhood financial service center.
A whole new way.
USA Today. Why are people everywhere reading it? Because USA Today brings them the USA in an entirely different way. It combines the fast-paced color coverage of TV news with the comprehensive coverage of newspapers and magazines. USA Today, the nation's newspaper. Exciting, rewarding, fascinating, and vital.
The Amazon, mysterious, frightening, and magnificent. The mightiest river on earth. And to this natural wonder comes the greatest explorer of our time, Jacques Cousteau. Uncover the secrets of a jungle kingdom that draws its life from the most powerful river in the world. Experience the thrill of discovery with a special view of Earth's last frontier in Cousteau's Amazon.
Don't miss this great special endorsed by NEA Wednesday at 7 here on KSN.
With Craig Bolerchak and Joe Howard, this is Dave Armstrong welcoming you back to the Kansas Coliseum when the Wings lead by a score of 3-1. Well, with about 5 minutes left to go in the third quarter at Memphis, the Americans hold a 3-2 advantage over the Kansas City Comets. So that would be an important victory indeed for Memphis for their own sake as far as the Eastern Division is concerned, because the Americans are fighting with New York for that last playoff spot in the Eastern Division, and a big victory indeed for the Wichita Wings as Kansas City is tied with the Wings for second place right now in the West.
Yeah, it would be a great result, Dave, for the Wings if Memphis could pull that one out.
Well, Wichita right now is even with St. Louis in the loss column, 20 losses apiece. St. Louis has played 22 wins, 20 losses, so they've played 42 games. St. Louis has just 6 games left now on their schedule. After today, the Wings will have 7 games left, and St. Louis must play, Joe, 6 of those games on the road, or make that 4 games now on the road for St. Louis. So they've got their work cut out for them away from home.
Yeah, they certainly have a tough run in towards the end of the season, and out of all the 3 teams that are pushing for the title at the moment, the Wings actually have an easier run in.
You know, we talk about that loss column. Why is that so important? Well, St. Louis is right now, as of today, played 1 more game than Wichita has. So if the Wings tie St. Louis in that loss column, really they stand to try to come back with a victory, and then really basically instead of being a half game down, Joe, they'd really be basically even with the St. Louis Steamers. So we'll see how that one goes as far as things go in the standings. Now, if the 2 teams end up being tied at the end of the regular season, the Wings would have the advantage because of that goal differential.
Yeah, definitely, and Roy made a very important move, I think, in St. Louis when the Wings actually lost 3-0, and he didn't pull the goalkeeper to try and pull out and get a win out of that game. But it was important that Roy kept the score down because he was very aware of that goal differential.
Well, we'll be back to the Kansas Coliseum in just a moment. Our Wings lead by a score of 3-1 after the first half of play. And we'll be back with halftime highlights in just a moment. We're back at halftime. Statistically, in that first 30 minutes of play, Wichita had 15 shots on goal as compared to 9 for Pittsburgh. Saves were pretty even. Dollar with 5, Mavlik with 4, block shots, Pittsburgh with 8. So they've been busy in front of their goalkeeper, Peter Mavlik. They have had 8 block shots, and Wichita has blocked 3 Pittsburgh shots. So our score at halftime, 3-1. Per Runfed so far the offensive star of the contest. Per with a goal and an assist so far. Andy Chapman with the goal for Wichita that put them ahead, and Jeff Bourne from Per Runfed with only about 34 seconds to go before the halftime. And that was really the key goal because it has put Wichita in front by 2.
It was a very good first half for the Wings. Even though they were 1 down after the first quarter, they still had some good opportunities that they didn't cash in on. But the second quarter there, just excellent play. They pressured all over. They were very aggressive, and they need to do that again this second half.
They certainly do, Joe. Well, after that first quarter of play, when Dumbovic scored from Dave Hagen, it was all Wichita. Per Runfed from Omar Gomez, Andy Chapman from Kim Runfed, and Jeff Bourne from Per Runfed again. So really a good first half for the Wichita Wings. And as they come back out. Quarter of play. Then Andy Chapman scores. Well, we're not going to see it. Instead, we're going to take a look at the Pittsburgh bench. Now we will see it. Andy Chapman from Kim Runfed. It's really Frank Rasmussen making all the nice moves there. Kim took the shot. It was deflected out front by Vosmar. Andy found the open net for his 44th goal of the year. Then Jeff Bourne scored right before the first half ended with 34 seconds to go in that first half. Per Runfed digging the ball out in the corner. Here comes number 3, Per Runfed. He digs it out there. Bourne, sensing an opportunity here, gets up quickly. The pass to Bourne, and it's in, and it's 3-1. Now we're just underway into the live action here at the Kansas Coliseum. And as we get underway, there's been a penalty. Paul Child has been given a yellow caution for conduct just at the start here of the third quarter, Joe.
Dave, he probably said something to the referee when he was going off the field at halftime there. A very silly penalty to get at this stage of the game.
Wow, an opportunity for the Wings here on the power play. Power play opportunity for Wichita in the third quarter. Jurgen Christensen with good depth here. The power play unit for Wichita, the best in the MISL. The penalty killing unit for Pittsburgh, they have stopped 25 out of 67. Jurgen Christensen back to Omar Gomez. Now to Kim Runfed. Saved by Mavlik. Mavlik got in there. There's that penalty killing unit for Pittsburgh and their percentages, which rank about 5th in the MISL. There is the penalty, or the man in the box. Paul Child with that silly penalty. Jurgen Christensen with a corner kick to Kim. He just couldn't quite pull the trigger there. McKenzie will clear it to midfield. Now, normally that would have hit the scoreboard, but there is no scoreboard. In case you just joined us, it collapsed about 12:30 this afternoon, a couple hours before game time, and they had a heck of a time just getting it off the field. It was just sitting down on the field itself. Omar Gomez. And we're trying to keep track of how much time is left in the penalty. Anderson, it was blocked out front by Vosmar. Kim Runfed, Omar Gomez. Gomez to Christensen, back to Omar. Good movement here by the Wings. Jurgen tried to bust it through to Bourne. He couldn't do it. Instead, getting there first is Earhart Tapp. He goes back to Mavlik, who picks it up. 35 seconds left to go in the penalty to Paul Child. McKenzie allowed to come all the way up to midfield. McKenzie now busting across the red line. He plays it off the glass. Mike Dollar there. McKenzie bumps into Mike Dollar. Now here come the Wings on the attack. They've got McKenzie back in the offensive zone. Now Gomez slows up and McKenzie gets back defensively. Less than 30 seconds to go in the penalty to Paul Child. We can't tell you exactly how much. We have no scoreboard. Gomez keeps it alive in the corner. Now played to Mavlik, and that should pretty well do it. Power play unit for Wichita, not able to come up with any sort of scoring opportunities here.
Penalty to Paul Child has expired.
Paul Child now coming out of the box, and Paul Child had to wait and see and make sure the official told him to come out before he could. Now the Wings will make wholesale changes here as their power play unit couldn't quite get the job done that time. Kim Runfed. He'll play it up to Andy Chapman. Chapman has 1 goal so far here this afternoon. All the way back to Jurgen Christensen. Well, Joe, as you mentioned, Paul Child saying something to the officials on the way to the locker room, and that's exactly what happened. We have been given word that Child argued with Cabrichin on the way to that locker room and was given a descent penalty outside the arena. How about that? That's a first.
Well, that will happen, Dave. Anytime the players are in uniform and they're in a game situation, be they on the field or not, if they say something to the referee, they're always liable for that.
Andy Chapman called for a handball. What I wonder is, did the referee, Taras Cabrichin, go into the Wings locker room and say, I've got a 2-minute penalty on Paul Child. You'll be coming out with the power play. I wonder if they told Roy Turner that. And maybe Craig Volojak can find out for us along the bench if Roy Turner was aware that they were going to be on the power play. We certainly were not relayed that information up here. Well, it matters not right now because Wichita didn't score on the power play anyway. And it's still 3-1 Wichita. Just underway in the third quarter. About 12 minutes to go here in the third quarter of play. Craig evidently has word down now on the Wings bench. Craig, what's the word?
Dave, Al Green, the trainer, told me that Roy had no idea that a penalty had been called, so really kind of a disadvantage for Wichita. They didn't have an opportunity to set up any type of play, and it kind of showed when they came out here.
Yeah, I think it did. I think they were really caught off guard by it, as was everybody else here at the Kansas Coliseum. That was one of the best-kept secrets around. There's Maher with a shot. Dollar went down for it. Dollar now with a long outlet to Frank Rasmussen right in front of the Pittsburgh bench. Frank now with it. Stripped away, though. Nice play defensively there by Paul Toomey into the contest for the first time. That'll be a 3-line pass against Greg Willen. Let me explain that. Ball can't go up in the air without hitting something over all 3 lines. Greg Willen, one of the sturdy defenders of this Wichita Wings team, and one of those defenders that Kevin Cooley talked about that won't take a back seat to anybody as far as rugged style of play is concerned.
And Pittsburgh have put another very rugged player into the contest now. It's Paul Toomey, the number 7 for the Pittsburgh Spirit. Very physical player.
Certainly is. Former player at Hartford. Maybe you remember him from that. Shot taken, goes wide, right out in front. Child just missed on the follow. His shot went wide. He had the open net, but he couldn't pull the trigger. Some scary moments, and now Per Runfed pokes it out of there and comes out. Per now 1-on-2, and look at that ball control. Boy, that's tremendous stuff from Per Runfed to get it back to Mike Dollar.
He really has a great touch on the ball for a big man, Dave. He really does.
Wings fans, I can't hear you.
Jeff Bourne goes back to Ian Anderson as the Wings make wholesale changes here. Terry Nickel out now with Jeff Bourne and Omar Gomez. That line back together again. Starting on that line here this afternoon was Norman Pfeiffer. But Terry Nichols back on it now for the second half. Hare with a blast goes way up into the crowd, and we'll step aside. With about 11 minutes to go here in the third quarter, Wings lead 3-1. We'll be back.
For the Jet Mercersburger Most Versatile Performer Award. Athletes will be in Wichita such as
This Bud's for everyone who keeps things rolling in the mighty Mississippi.
Breakaway barge, please respond.
Let's get him.
We're right below here and we all the way out.
I'll come around on the port side and bumper there.
Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do, this Bud's for you.
That about does it, Tom. Now you have your own Mid-Kansas Rainbow Interest checking account. Remember, since every unused balance will earn interest, the less checks you write, the more money your checking account will earn. Now, we're right here in the neighborhood if you have any questions.
Mid-Kansas Rainbow Interest Checking. Right on.
Look to the rainbow, Mid-Kansas Federal Rainbow, your neighborhood financial service center.
Back to the live action at the Kansas Coliseum. Tony Pesnecker scores! Pesnecker with only his second goal of the year, and it's 4-1.
Here we see Jeff Bourne with some good shielding of the ball. Tony comes in, very good move. He really didn't hit the ball very well. Because he hit it so poorly, it kind of faked the goalkeeper out. It bounced in front of him, but all the same, it went in the goal, and excellent. Good play by Jeff Bourne.
About the 5.5-minute mark of the third quarter, Craig.
Dave, I tell you should have been here on the bench. What a smile. The whole bench lit up when Pesnecker put that in. You don't see that too often, and Tony in for Per Rundved, giving him a breather, and boy, it paid off.
He just barely walked onto the field, and what do you know? He scores his second of the year, and it's 4-1. Well, the Wings on top now by 3. Ian Anderson plays it around the boards. Anderson now with Gomez fighting along there. Pittsburgh somehow gets control, but now Wichita has it. Ian Anderson finds the open man, Jeff Bourne, who just made a great pass to Tony Pesnecker. Now we'll see the character of this Pittsburgh team. Dave McKenzie across the red line. Poked away by Tony P. Now to Omar Gomez. Gomez, 2-on-1 break here. Omar has it. Plays it off the boards, and Mavlik made a good play, or Gomez had another goal. Now the Wings seem to be everywhere. Greg Willen making the fine defensive play. Nostalgic was waiting for it, and Willen came right up over his back. Our times are pretty close here. That goal by Pesnecker officially at 5:45 of the third quarter. We said about 5.5, so we're pretty accurate here. It's hard to do this without a scoreboard, and Joe Howarth, you're doing a good job manning the controls.
Well, we're trying, Dave. It's tough to keep watching the game and watch the watch as well.
That's fun, though. Andy Chapman pulled down on the penalty box. Nothing called. They say Chapman fell of his own free will. They might have a case for that, too. Chapman was falling backwards. Nice lead pass on the far side for Hagen. Jurgen Christensen comes in. It goes off of him, and Hagen still has it. Hagen, he'll leave it for Marcio Leite. Leite, top of the penalty arc. He's left free, and he hits a shot up high. Boy, Leite was just let come right in on top of Mike Dollar, and his shot went a little bit high.
Important thing to remember now, Dave, is that the Wings shouldn't let up. They were leading 4-1 in Phoenix the other night, and they sat back on the lead and gave Phoenix a chance to get back into the competition. And they ended up tying the game at 5 goals each, and they had to pull it out right at the end there to actually come away with that win.
Well, they had 3-0 lead in Phoenix, and then a 4-1 lead, as you mentioned, and you're right. They had to come and pull it out. But it was an important road victory indeed for Wichita. They broke a 7-game losing streak on the road, and they pulled it within a game and a half. And now, right now, it's a game. As we stand right now, it's a game behind St. Louis because the Steamers lost earlier today to Buffalo. Andy Chapman trying to work around Paul Toomey. Chapman with it. He'll clear it for Greg Willen, and now back to midfield. And the Wings play some ball control now. The clock is on their side because they have a 3-goal lead. Frank Rasmussen working the weave. Greg Willen will play it off the plexiglass. Willen tripped from behind by Kevin Mayer. Again, no whistle.
They played the ball there, Dave. That was a good no call by the referee.
All right, Marcio Leite, top of the penalty arc. Leite, left foot, blocked though by Kim Rundved. Kim Rundved, who leads the Wings in block shots, 54 coming into this contest. Another block shot, that time by Greg Willen. Greg Willen has 39 block shots coming into this afternoon. Play getting really physical, and here comes Andy Chapman on a run. Chapman with Toomey matching him stride for stride. Chapman gets free. His shot. Oh, it hit the post. Wow, that one went wide to the left just barely. Here comes Hagen. Hagen has to settle it now. And Frank Rasmussen strips it away. Rasmussen in a fight now with Marcio Leite. Whistle call. It'll go Wichita's way.
That was a good call by the referee. Definitely obstruction by Leite there on Frank Rasmussen.
Officials have done a good job here this afternoon, Joe.
They have.
That's twice now. You've
we don't say that very often. We'll put this one down in the book.
I'm in shock. I'm in shock. Frank Rasmussen getting a little breather. Wichita will get the free kick now. Toros Kavrichin warning Dave McKenzie, hey, let's watch delay of game here. Rasmussen goes all the way back to Mike Dollar. Per Runfed back to Mike again. Now he kicks it up to midfield. Leite is there with it. Leite to McKenzie across the red line for Pittsburgh. McKenzie trying to get loose for a shot. It's taken, and it just barely went high. Wow, just over the crossbar. Pittsburgh with some good ball control keeps it in. Leite putting a lot of pressure on. Nice play there defensively by Jurgen Christensen. Now here comes Norman Piper on a run. To Jurgen Christensen, a beautiful pass. Jurgen, it goes wide. Wow, just barely wide. Jeff Bourne keeps it in. Bourne all the way back out to Per Runfed now. Per has a goal and assist here this afternoon. Oh, left it for Piper, and he wasn't waiting for it. Now to Paul Child. Beaten away, though, by E. Anderson, and the wings are everywhere right now, Joe. They just seem to be really on top of their game.
They're playing excellent soccer, Dave. They're working hard. Everybody's moving, making the passing game that Wichita is so famous for that much easier to do. You've got to have that movement off the ball. And they're doing it excellently right now.
They really are. Jurgen Christensen patiently waiting now for Per Runfed to break out. Per with it at midfield. Nice pass to Jeff Bourne across the red line. Now he goes back to midfield. And the wings wanting to make some changes and will now. Mike Dollar's distribution with the foot up to Jeff Bourne. Coming up over the back of Bourne was Erhard Kapp, but Omar Gomez takes it away. Z. Kapka with it again. Kapka with it now right in front of the players' benches. Goes back to Sibbies. No, that's nostalgic. Sibbies is right there in front of the goal, but he didn't get a chance to get a shot away. Now to McKenzie. McKenzie out front, and Sibbies whipped on it. And then Dollar made the save. Beautiful pass from McKenzie, and Sibbies couldn't get there. Blocked by Per Runfed. Pittsburgh, though, putting a lot of pressure on here, and Wichita's got to be careful as they try to get it out of their own zone. Now they'll go back to Mike Dollar.
Very good play there by Ian Anderson. Kept a very cool head about him. Put his foot on the ball. A lot of players would have panicked and just tried to clear the ball out, but good play by Ian Anderson.
I would have panicked, I know. Omar Gomez, a little chipper to Norman Piper. Mavlik comes out and then headed out by Kapp. Kapp now with it at midfield. He goes for Sibbies. Sibbies from behind, though, was pretty much molested by Andy Chapman.
Good play by Andy. Good tracking back on his part.
Here comes Anderson. Ian plays it along the boards to Frank Rasmussen. Another pass along the boards to Chapman. Gomez was sitting out there at the penalty dot, but Andy never saw him, and that's understandable. He had his back to the play the whole time.
No, I think Andy knew Omar was there. He just didn't get a very good bounce off of the ball. So it was a good play on Andy's part. Omar just unfortunately didn't get on it.
Nostalgic with it. It was headed away by Frank Rasmussen. You know, this Pittsburgh team could go down in history as the all-name team in the MISL. They've got names like Nostalgic, Z. Kapka, Ian Sibbies, Drago Dumbovic. And they've got several names that will qualify for our all-name team this year.
We're a little apprehensive about doing this game here today, trying to, with all these strange pronunciations.
And they've got guys like Dave McKenzie and Paul Child, regular things like that, but they do have some good names on this team. Kim Runfed with it. Runfed plays it in for Andy Chapman. Chapman trying to turn there on the defender, Mayer. Mayer doing a good job, and Chapman goes down hard. Whistle and a call made against Mayer, and Chapman is still down, holding his shoulder. I certainly hope there's nothing serious there. Andy Chapman, who has scored 13 goals in his last 7 games and has a goal here this afternoon. The Wings can ill afford to lose Andy. Andy now is going off as Al Green came out.
Anytime the trainer comes out on the field, Dave, they make the player go off now, because there were a number of teams in the last couple of years that used to waste a lot of time.
Let's watch it again as Kevin Mayer and Andy Chapman collide.
Andy doing very well to keep his body between the defender and the ball. There you see Mayer is all over him, and certainly it was a foul there. And he just went down very hard.
Well, back to the live action now. Pittsburgh has it on the run. Omar Gomez, the pass up to Sibby's. Dollar comes out with a nice play. Nice give and go to Omar Gomez, and now the heel kick back to Kim Runfed. He tried to shoot it up to Frank Rasmussen, but blocked instead by Kapka. Now that's Z with the ball. Lead pass to Dave McKenzie. McKenzie on the far side. Stops in front of Frank. McKenzie still with it. Now the pass to Ostaljic. His shot blocked on the goal line by Greg Willen. Wow, what a play by Greg Willen.
Excellent positional sense by Greg Willen there.
Kapka couldn't get it loose. Now Bourne clears. Bourne and Kapka go at each other just a little bit. Dangerous play called against Z. Bourne was kicked in the shin.
Yeah, well, Jeff was very irate about that because it looked like Kapka went over the top of the ball, and that's one of the most dangerous things you can do to a soccer player because that's the easiest way to get your leg broken. And Jeff very mad about that, and quite rightly so.
Greg Willen standing there with Toros Cabrichin, and as Bourne went by Kapka, he had a few choice words for him. Willen now saying, okay, let's settle down. Let's play our game.
You've got to be very impressed with the Wings, Dave. They're doing so well. They're tracking back so well defensively, and a great all-round performance we're seeing here today.
It's one of the best games we've seen the Wings play this year, and they played some great ones. Mike Dollar kicks it up into the crowd. Pittsburgh will get it back. So much different than about, what, a month ago when the Wings just couldn't buy a victory. Now all of a sudden they're just on a roll. Just night and day.
Keep that work rate up, Dave, and they'll beat anyone.
Mike Dollar shouting out instructions now to his defense. Pittsburgh will get the kick in.
Each and every time the Wings score 10 goals, you're a winner with Wendy's. Brought by Wendy's.
Kowalski over on the Pittsburgh bench, looking down the bench, seeing if he has somebody down there that has a hat trick in him. Because Pittsburgh trails by 3. We're waiting now for play to restart, and here we go. Played out. Shot goes wide. That shot taken by Vosmar. Now Jeff Bourne has it. Mayer in front of Borney. Jeff will go cross pitch to Norman Piper. Now back out to midfield. Wings playing ball control now. Clock in their favor. I'm guessing at about, well, 1:30. Thank you, JB. Just as I was going to guess at the time, we find out there's a minute and a half left to go here. Pass from Bourne, a little bit too slow for Jurgen Christensen, and Christensen comes in and pokes it away. To pair Runfed, back to Mike Dollar, and the distribution now to Norman Piper. About a minute left to go here in the third quarter. Wings 1-0 in this quarter, 3-0 in the second quarter, and 4-1 overall. Christensen waited for it. To Jeff Bourne. Bourne and Runfed teamed on a goal. Just 34 seconds to go in the half. We'll see if they can do it again here with under a minute to go. Runfed with the ball. To Piper. Chipped inside to Jeff Bourne. Back to Piper. Piper tripped from behind. No call.
That was a definite foul there, Dave. That should have been a penalty kick because he clipped Norman's foot just as he was taking the shot. Very dangerous play.
Now McKenzie.